up in the air. Expected it to be a lot tighter than that. Maybe it's cooling down already. But I figure what I'll do is I'll let the that cool down about 300 or 400 degrees more, and when in the meantime I can go change the oil while the motor's hot, get that out of the way, and then I'll go jump on those rear brakes, see what we got going on. So change oil in it, all that's fine, and now I'm going to go screw with the brakes. As it cooled off, they were fine, and then I went to go and apply the brakes, and so you can kind of see it's got a lot of drag on it again. The front tires would lock up and then back off. Same with the other side, front tire spins. The back tire on this side, although it was not smoking, was tight. Let's see what it is now. Yeah, see, it's still tight. So I'm going to pull a back tire off of it, but I have a feeling the master cylinder is not returning, causing most of my issues, not the fact that my brakes are staying in the outward position. So, and then now, it's free. But, I have a casualty. I took out the end of the brake line. So I got to replace that's for the front circuit, and it kind of allowed me to push that master cylinder through its full stroke, so it kind of helped clean up the bore, I guess. I was thinking about taking it off, but if I can put a line on there and bleed the brakes and it is okay, then I'll be fine with it. If I find that it's still kind of dragging a little bit, we'll take that apart and clean up the bore if we need to. Be well on the phone. So that line right there is factory. First auto parts store I went to, this is the solution they came up with because the ends are not large enough. They have one line that's kind of an adapter. It's got two different sizes on it. Then I would have to go to a coupler, then to the correct size length line, then to a coupler that would be the fat size again. Then I went down the road and they were still open by about 15 minutes. I went to another auto parts store and they had the correct length line, and then two of the couplers or adapters. So I think we'll go with plan B rather than plan A, but I wanted to have something just to put it back together. But again, I didn't want all that crap in there. So that's what it looks like. I need to adjust the headlights a little bit. I had these little half moon things that made it look like I had sleepy eyes. I took them out. I'm probably sure I knocked them out of whack since then. But that stopped me from getting a ride. Yeah, see if we can go find ourselves a nice little open stretch of road. So then we can do that. And shall we? Blowing out of the vents. And so it's another day, and went this morning to inspection. I got a sticker, good for 2 years. And it doesn't mean that I still have issues that I don't have to address. And two of those issues is I got to do a wheel cylinder in the back. Pick that up because it's kind of hanging up a little bit. Take care of that with some, picked up some fluid also. And then the carb has no accelerator squirt. And I'm not quite sure which kit it is. So we have the 3 kits. And again, a friend of mine owns the auto parts store. So I was able to take those and then just pay for the one that I use and return the others. I haven't paid for them yet. So when we get into that, I'll decipher which one it is. As long as you don't open the little plastic window, you're all set and kind of take them back. But before I do that, that pile right there needs to disappear so that I have someplace to work that is not stepping over myself. So this plethora of stuff needs to get put away so that we can move forward. So let me get this kind of cleaned up, and then I'll get the car on the lift and start doing some work. And a little Mopar only information: if you're working on the driver's side of the car, the lug nuts, on is off, off is on. They are opposite, only on that side though. So if you're going to go and when it will take it off, your threads are the other direction. Righty loosey, lefty tighty. How's that easy to say? So that's just for the front and the back tire that's on that side. I guess Mopar thought that if you're going down the road that your lug nuts would loosen up going forward, so they made them all kind of go the same direction, I think. I guess. Let's go see what we got. See if it'll pop off. Oh, that was easy. It stinks, I can tell you that right now. And they look fairly new brake shoes. The paint's still on them. It looks like the trailing shoe is a little bit more worn than the leading shoe, so I would probably think that maybe that side of the wheel cylinder is what's bound up and causing it not to return. I think it was actually two problems were going on. One was the master cylinder was not returning, not allowing the pressure to go back out the brake line and back into the reservoir. And the other problem, again, I think is this wheel cylinder. So the master cylinder led the brakes, kind of ran it through the pistons through their cycles and their full stroke. That seems to be okay. If I find that it's an issue, I'll throw another master cylinder on. But that's actually not that old. That master cylinder is probably only 6-8 years old. It's not like it's ridiculous, you know. So we get the brake shoes out of the way, and I already got the wheel cylinders going on, whether it's good or not, and turn it back on. All right, you ready? You think that guy would be able to move very freely? Yeah, I think not. I've never seen one that bad. I can't believe it. So I think it's time we change that guy out. And of course we're going to pull the other wheel off. But I'm looking at the hardware over there, and it looks like it's new stuff on the wheel cylinder on that side. So I have a feeling that side's already been done. But we're going to check anyway. Plus there's actually, oh wait, it gets better. Brake drum. What do you see wrong with that picture? What's up with that? Yeah, ain't good. So, that brake drum's had it too. Looks like it actually had a hole that rusted through, and then it started cracking down to the lip. I don't think it would go past that lip. Looks like it's kind of running along parallel with it, but that ain't good. Probably the original one. Now I have a parts cart in the back. Whether I'm going to go through the trouble of pulling that off, seeing if it's the same size drum or not, I'm not sure. I tried calling the parts store, but so 5 minutes before they were closed and nobody was answering the phone. Go figure. So I don't know if they're readily available or not, and you know, as long as they're 40-50 bucks, I'll throw them on there. If they're 100 and something bucks a piece, I'm going to go and see what I have and see if I can resurrect those. So hidden in the back 40 underneath piles of junk and whatnot is yet another car in my hoard, and this car is a 66 Plymouth Belvedere 2. Belvedere 1, Belvedere 2, Satellite and GTX for 66 and 67 is the lineup. Pretty much that's the direction from cheapest to most expensive. So this is the second cheapest expensive. Got a 6-cylinder in it. Had a 3-speed on the column. Has a 3-speed on the column. I drove this car here. Yes, I did. And actually picked it up quite a while ago when I was doing some other work on my Plymouth and stuff that I needed. So for the cost of this car, the part that I needed, I got the whole car. Anyway, brake drums. We're here for brake drums. Down in there is an axle with a tire on it that has the brake drum on it, but it's not looking very easy for me to be able to access that. So I'll shove you guys down there. See? Somewhere down in there. Don't flip out, it's a parts car, alright? It's a parts car. I'm not destroying something that was already destroyed. But it is a convertible. Yes, it is. And as you can tell, it's stuffed with other amenities. Good, bad, or indifferent. And it's still got a good hood, doors, convertible part. That's what I needed. The pump was shot on mine power top. And so I ended up getting this car. I actually split it with somebody. I think it was $600. We paid $300 a piece. He took a bunch of stuff off of it. I kept the carcass and a bunch of stuff off of it also. Anybody need any sled 6 problems? Sled 6 parts? Would make a cold start, huh? And he needed a fender. Grab the fender off of it. Again, the hood's decent. Fender's okay, and I think both doors are there at least with all the glass and all the components in them. Now, this is a 3-speed 6-cylinder, so I have a feeling that that rear end may be a smaller setup anyway, so that brake drum may not be the same. So I have other stuff I can do today until I can find out whether brake drums are available at a reasonable price for that car, and pursue that. But I figured just take a second and show you. The bell of the ball. I think I also got the boot off of this car, which I was missing too, that when you put the top down, the boot that goes over those snaps. I got that too. Again, you can tell it's my Bondo of the quarters, and it looks like the quarter actually just fell right off completely. The inner droppings there. This one might be easier to get at, but it's still not looking great. Let's see. It was pretty rusty underneath too, but again, that's why it's here. It's serving its life to keep other Mopars alive, especially mine. So, alright, let's go back in the garage and get cooled off. And that's all back together on this side. Again, one side was stuck, the other side was not on that that wheel cylinder. I poked and prodded at it, and that's what was the deal. So the what did I say it was? The back shoe was dragging. Now you're looking at the pins. They were able to shift back and forth, and all is good again. Not too much meat taken off the brake shoes. I will take some emery and kind of cuff up the paper, the shoes rather, if they got a little bit of glazing from getting hot. Brake drum, talked about. Definitely need to get at least one, if not two. Walk this way. Getting there. We're getting there. And the other side. The other side, again, you can still see that the brake shoes have paint and everything on them, so they're not from 1967. And this guy too, you can kind of rock from side to side. They're not leaking. I pull the boots back, they are not dripping, so I am not going to worry about that. I think at some point I will probably do, again, new shoes, throw another wheel cylinder on this side. I don't like the flex line that comes down to the rear. The end where the metal is getting kind of rusty. The rubber part seems okay, but on the end there it's starting to look a little crusty. So I may just, make, there's the short-term list and the long-term list. And I'm gonna keep an eye on grabbing that stuff. This drum is, you can tell the lip is getting kind of thin on this one too. No cracks or anything, but again, I think they may have outlived their life expectancy, or pretty close to it anyway. So, again, I'll see if the drums aren't too expensive. I'll buy them local. I may take a look on eBay too and see if they're not bad. It's not like it's that. You just take the tires off and the drums come right off. It's not like you have a bunch to do to go change them. So I'm to that point where I'm going to go bleed the brakes. So I figured I'd grab the camera again. The wheel cylinder, the adjuster is adjusted all the way out. The shoes are adjusted. So they are the wheel cylinder is not going to be working a bunch to try to take up play of the brake shoes when you're trying to bleed them. They're pretty much the cylinder stationary, so you get more fluid travel out of it. Anyways, I usually do it by myself, and the problem with that is, of course, how do you pump the pedal and then run to the back, grab the wrench, open it up, and let the pressure out, hold the pedal down, close it, pump it up 3 times, etc. They make a tool which is a vacuum tool you stick on the bleeder, and you could draw the fluid through, and that's good if you have that set up and that tool. What I have is a piece of hose, 2 pieces of hose actually, kind of go from the bleeder around. This is a check valve, allows air or fluid to go one direction but not back in. So what this does, with having a little service loop in the hose too, it allows the fluid to kind of go around and purge itself without drawing itself back, so you could just stay at the pedal and keep running the pedal until you get all the air out. Of course, it kind of dribbles down on the other end. There's the pan. Down below, try to catch 98% of it, and see how that goes. But anyway, I'm going to go set you up with the somehow in here so you can see it, and I'll go bleed the brakes and show the process thereof. And let's go push some fluid. That should do it. And generally I kind of put a cap on the end of the line. Should be sitting around here somewhere. You'll have to show you that. But generally I put a cap on the one end of the line, and it just holds the fluid in it for the next time. And it again helps it prime. Eventually the rubber does kind of fail after about a year or so, but again, that stuff's cheap. And I like using the clear stuff because you can see what's happening inside it. You can see where you got like air trapped, or if you're still getting air coming out of it, or whatnot. It is. So what we have here is a little literature from 1967, May of '67, Playboy. How risque they were back then. So that's about the birthday of this car, and this is the GTX version of the Satellite. Satellite was luxury model. GTX was the high performance model with the luxury components, and shortly thereafter came a Roadrunner, and again within this genre, 66 and 67, there was a Belvedere and a Belvedere 2. So the hood that's on this car is off of a 67 Hemi GTX. Here's the scoops right there. I actually have the, or had the hood ornament that said 426 when I got this hood. The car was a beater. Somebody trashed the car, and it was sold. Somebody wanted the Hemi motor that was in it, and the hood didn't even leave with it. So I bought the hood off of, at the time, it was the Want Ad. Remember for Craigslist there was something called the Want Ad? One advertiser, depending on where you were, and that was in there. So I grabbed that hood with the hood scoops, and it's supposed to have lines right down the center of the car on a GTX. Again, at the time I just blacked mine out. I think I might like to do that though. I think I might like to do maybe yellow with the black bumblebee stripes going down it. I think it would make for a cool look. They didn't do over the roof anyway, and it says vinyl top, so it's just really the trunk and the front of it. Used to be able to see the old marks. Let me see if it picks it up. You see it in the reflection right there? You can actually see the original paint stripe where it went down it. So we'll see. That's in the future. Again, the battle plan right now is just making this thing so it is a driver, and can use it for the summer. Because if I wait for myself to go and paint it and do everything else, you know, you may never end up using it. So again, the whole idea is just try to get it back, everything mechanically functional, and just have some fun with it. So that's the battle plan I'm doing. My plan, and I'm sticking to it, maybe.